Good morning. Today is Friday, June 13th, 2025, and I'm Reese Blanco.
And I'm Fisa Line. Welcome to our second last KIS news show of the year.
Theta, stop it. You're gonna make me cry. Who's gonna terrorize Mr. Blanco while we're down in secondary?
Snap out of it. I'm pretty sure your brother has it covered, Reese. Let's go to the birthday for this week.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, everyone.
Let's go to you with the weather.
Thanks, you. Reese, do we have any announcements for this week?
We sure do, Theta. First up, Milepost 2 had their assembly about being thinkers recently. Well, let's have a look.
We've got a new segment to the show. What's in Daddy's pocket?
I will slap that out of your hand, say God help me.
And the mystery continues. Theta, I heard a rumor that she keeps an entire desk chair in there. Spooky stuff.
I will get to the bottom of this.
Year 5 and Year 6 had their third annual Milepost 3 water fight this week. Rumor has it Miss Lyons bribed Year 6 students to join Year 5 in attacking Mr. Blanco immediately as he entered the battlefield before he even had a chance to load his water blaster.
It was a slaughter. We had Africa Day this week. Let's check out the event and the second half of my interview with the Elephant Foundation.
Yeah, that's it.
How does the Elephant Foundation help people in Africa who protect animals like elephants and lions?
Okay, so we have three main partners in Africa. We have Big Life Foundation in Kenya, and with them, they look after 1.6 million acres of land for the community and protect wildlife as well. So we work with them and we support them by paying for education for students. So students can come out of school with a better education and hopefully get a good job. We work with a group in South Africa called Game Rangers Association of Africa, and with them we provide accident insurance for rangers. So if a ranger gets injured in the line of his work, the insurance pays for him to get better. If he gets killed in the line of his work, there's compensation for his family and his children can still go to school. It's really, really important for that. And then lastly, we work with a group called Lion Lights. And Lion Lights were invented by a 12-year-old boy called Richard Terere. And when he was 12, as a kid, you have to look after the cows at night and during the day, but at night you've got to stay up and look after the cows. And the cows come into an enclosure. But when cows are asleep at night, easy for lions to come and kill them. So his job at the age of 12 was to keep the lions away from the cows. So he invented this thing, and it flashes randomly, and it tricks the lions into believing it's a human with a torch. And because lions won't attack cows if there's a human there, the cows stay alive. And if the cows stay alive, the warriors don't kill the lions. So it protects lions, which are endangered as well, and it protects cows, which are the most important possession a Maasai has. So it's a very, very important way of looking after people on the ground. So we ask people to help us pay for these. These are $25 each, and it costs about $120 to protect one enclosure. So it's really not very much money to help a farmer save his cows and his wildlife, his stock.
How do you support communities in Africa that live near wildlife?
So again, with one example is we believe very strongly that for a community to stop poaching, they have to get value out of the wildlife. They have to see value. They have to see a good reason to protect the wildlife. So one of the things one of our supporters did a few years ago was pay for a girls' dormitory to be built at a school near to a wildlife park. And the important thing there is the teenage girls stay at school, so they get a better education. They have to walk to and from school every day, which is sometimes 2-3 hours, and they walk at 4 or 5 in the morning and at 6-7 o'clock in the evening, which is the most dangerous time to walk in the bush for wildlife, but also human beings as well. So human beings, they make friends, they build up relationships. So by looking after the students, they get a better education and they're safer. The families like that. It's good for the families. So the families are getting benefit from the wildlife being alive, because somebody from Hong Kong went to Kenya and they saw what was happening and they thought this is a good project to support. So there's a Hong Kong link to supporting wildlife, to supporting communities. If the wildlife wasn't there, people from Hong Kong wouldn't go to Africa to see it and the communities would get no support. So that's one example.
Okay. Can you share a story where your work made a big difference for wildlife or people?
Yeah, well, the story I've just told, actually, the girls' dormitory, to be honest, that's probably the best story. It makes 96 students and it's changed their lives. They get a proper education. When I was young, I worked with a man called George Adamson, and he was a very famous man who who raised and released lions into the wild that had been in captivity. And they made a film about his life with his wife called Born Free. And I was very, very lucky to be able to work with him for a short while. Now that didn't make a difference to a community, but it made a difference to wildlife, it made a difference to the young lions, who were then able to be released into the wild, whereas they would otherwise spend the rest of their life in a zoo. So George would raise them and send them into the wild, and where they lived happy lives the way they're meant to live.
So the mission of our school is to find passion, foster vision, and encourage action. How does the Elephant Foundation embody these values in its work, and what advice would you give to students who want to create meaningful change in their communities?
So we believe in instilling passion into students so they get really excited about wildlife. Why should we protect wildlife? Why do we want to protect wildlife? Okay? And the one thing I think that really changes people's minds of between 8 and 18 years old is when I talk about elephants being very similar to a human being in how long they live, the way they bring up their children, the way that other elephants in the herd also look after other elephants' babies, which doesn't happen in other wildlife groups. They're super intelligent. They're very like human beings. And therefore there's an emotional connection to that. So we try to instill the passion with that. We really encourage students to do projects of their own. So not only do they learn, but they teach their fellow students as well. So we're going to launch this year something called Wildlife Warriors. And Wildlife Warriors will be groups of students in a school where they do activities to support conservation in Hong Kong and in Africa, and to help learn about the importance of wildlife. And the idea is we're going to launch that in numerous schools around Hong Kong to hopefully get youth in Hong Kong really excited about protecting wildlife and really understand that it's very, very important that we do protect this. So basically passion. We want to instill passion into people.
Thank you, Colin.
No worries.
We have really appreciated you having the time to have an interview with us.
Very happy to do that. Thank you very much.
Back to the studio.
Now it's time for the best segment in the show, the joke of the week.
I've got a pen that can write underwater. I mean, it can write other words, but I like writing the word underwater.
Bruh.
That's all the time for this week, everyone. See you in 2 weeks for our final show and the last day of the school year.
Bye-bye.